Hello lovelies, this is Robin Dudley House, the artsy bohemian, coming to you from my studio in Los Angeles, California. I am really excited. I am going to be showing you a design team project for the Graphics Fairy that I have made. It's my kind of a gypsy journal, and it's based on a term that I love, which I have put inside of the journal, and the term, which I cannot find the origins of, is where feathers fall, angels tread, and gypsies roam. And I've just, when I first saw that a few years ago, I think I saw it on Pinterest, I just resonated with it, and I just love that saying. And it kind of brings magic and the mystery of a traveler, an adventurous traveler. And so that's what this journal is based on. And since since it is Halloween today, it kind of goes hand in hand with it. So I made this pocket to hold, kind of like, it's not a file folder, but I guess you could use a file folder. I have a tutorial on how to make this particular pocket on my YouTube channel from about 2 months back, if you're interested in making it. But I thought this would be a great receptacle to hold the journal that I made for my design team project. And so I've used lots of images from the Graphics Fairy that are gypsy related or magical, and this is one of them. I made this into a postcard type of a card for journaling on, and there's also a little bit of lace in here, crocheted lace, like a little doily. And this is also from the Graphics Fairy premium membership site. I had fun making these. These are from the Jane Austen embroidery cabochon area of the bundles. I think it's just Jane Austen in general, but I will have a list of the different bundles and printables that I used. So I just hole punched several of them and made some of them into tags, and I put this one on the tassel that I used for embellishing this. So this is, like I said, I do have a tutorial on how to make this, and I will take out the journal. I just love everything. I love old lace, and I love vintage doilies and crocheted and embroidery that the women used to do back in the day. So I made this journal and I was inspired by Sheena from Luna Rosu, who always seems to make her journals with kind of a it's not really a book cover or a journal cover. It's kind of more artistic, so you're showcasing kind of the inside already before you even open it. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but the closure I made out of some crocheted trim, and I just put a very old mother of pearl button on here. And this acts actually as, you can close the journal, but you can also use it as a bookmark. So works good for that. So there's a book on top of a book. So the way that this opens, and I do have a tutorial on how to make this too on my YouTube channel, is like this. So this is just kind of lots of vintage ephemera that I just taped together, and I bound together, vintage papers. This actually comes out. This is an old envelope. I did use a lot of vintage ephemera for this journal. It's not copies, it's the actual authentic pieces. So you can write a little bit in this, did a little bit of collage there if you wanted to. So that actually stays on top of the actual journal. So in a sense, it acts as the cover of the journal. So it opens up like this, and this is one of those faux envelopes, full folded envelopes. And it opens up like this, and there's all these wonderful little pockets and flaps and tip-ins and flip-outs. So this is a beautiful image from the Graphics Fairy Premium Design membership site, and you can take it off, so you can write on it if you want to. And the frame is also, the frame came in this beautiful green color, and I didn't really realize I was going to be using these colors in the journal, but they kind of just started happening. So I really love the way that all the colors came together. It wouldn't have been something that I thought, oh, I'm going to make a journal with these colors. It just kind of happened. Because I always have things that I have made, and maybe it didn't work out for one journal, but will work out for another, and that's the case for this faux front envelope. And then, so this comes off as well. This is a frame from the Graphics Fairy Premium membership site, and it's green, but I took some yellow ink and I just sponged some yellow ink on there, so it kind of brought out the colors that match the whole interior of the faux front envelope. And this is another Graphics Fairy Premium Design membership site image. Beautiful image of a woman playing a violin. And in my mind, I was thinking of a story that this lady who had this journal collected things as she traveled the world. She was a dancer and a musician, and I just thought that was kind of what was happening when I was coming up with the journal itself. This is also from the Graphics Fairy. I made a little matchbook notebook, which are super cute and fun to make, and that slips right in here. And then all of this comes out, and here's the saying, where feathers fall, angels tread, and gypsies roam. Places to journal on as well. And then the top part up here also. Graphics Fairies has all these beautiful feathers that you can download too in their premium membership site, so I thought that was perfect. Also Graphics Fairy here, and then these are just scrapbook pieces that are little journaling cards, and a vintage glassine envelope. So this closes here, and then here. Make sure that this is down right. And then we open it up to this part. So there's all these wonderful flip outs. This I loved doing. I was inspired by Terry, who's also another Graphic Fairy design team member. She does a lot of fussy cutting. And so I took some of the images from the Gypsy, I think it's Vintage Gypsy Style bundle. And there were some gorgeous images, so I cut them out, did some fussy cutting with the horse. Here she is entertaining her throngs of people in a small village, probably somewhere in Eastern Europe. And she has her finger cymbals on, and she's dancing on a horse. Quite a feat. And then there's some old original envelopes in here. This one is from Italy, I believe. Paraguay. And this one is from Korea. So she traveled far and wide. Here's another vintage envelope with some tickets in it. Acts as a pocket. This is some coffee dyed paper. I love how it had ripped, so I just kind of taped it up a little bit with some tape, washi tape and masking tape. And a rubber stamped image area to journal. Another old envelope, parchment paper envelope made from Italy, I believe, again. Also, this is from the Graphics Fairy. There's a lot of floral botanicals in their design membership site. This is some kind of a vintage ledger. Looks like it was for somebody who wrote down the work schedule and who worked from 1926. Old doily that I've coffee dyed. And here's some music that the woman, I'm just going to call her Borka because Borka was in one of my other journals. So Borka Borka the Gypsy, and some music, sheet music from when she performed. And here's a beautiful image that I fussy cut from the Graphics Fairy premium membership site as well. And I love roses, and I love vintage style painted roses. So I really like the way that that composition came out. And this is also beautiful. It reminded me of kind of like a Persian rug. So that's also from the Graphics Fairy, and that wraps around to the other side of this page on the other end of the journal. Some pieces of fabric from Borka's travels, from some of her costumes, and a old button and a pin to remind her of the days that she used to perform. Here's one of her friends who was a fairy. This is also from the Graphics Fairy premium membership site. And some area to write, notes, coffee dyed envelope, and a little index card with a fabric tab on there. The Graphics Fairy has these awesome washi tape strips, which is also what I used here. So they're nice because they don't have any adhesive like washi tape, but you glue them down and they'll stay, of course. And here's the center of the journal. Here's some more pictures and postcards of Borka when she was a performer. She was going to send these to people to let them know where she was. And here's a writing tab with some vintage paper and a little cluster of fabric and lace. And here's one of the feathers that she collected, believing that angels were protecting her as she traveled the world. There's an envelope from the Graphics Fairy. They had this awesome, and if I had time I would have done this, but I cut out all these hexagons and I thought they would be great as a, you could make interesting patterns with them like a quilt on your paper. And you could even intersperse them with different types of paper in different colors that matched. So those are in this envelope to play with. And here's a little pocket here. Another image from the Vintage Gypsy style bundle. Here's the other part of that envelope. And I made another little booklet with some more vintage Bohemian style images. This is one of her people that she performed with, Hernandez. And it's one of the fiddles that they used in their act. And here's another pretty envelope from the Graphics Fairy. Plant a seed, grow a dream, with a little fabric tab on here. And there's some vintage ephemera in this one and a tag. This has some of those old die cuts. I guess it looks like it was a knife or switchblade, which is kind of weird to me, but those are old. And a little tag in there, and it's held together by a little itty bitty paper clip. I think I have something holding it. Yeah, I have this holding it on the other side. So this opens up so that you can write on it. And this is also some more vintage, an original advertisement, I believe, for boots and shoes. So pretty. I love the writing. I wish people did that still. On my business cards, I had a woman make some beautiful postcards for me for my business, and I kind of incorporated these vintage, this vintage style of graphic design. So this is an old envelope from 1949, from Canada to Wisconsin in the U.S. So it opens up. You can add goodies in there if you want. Bits of ephemera, maybe some feathers that you find. Also from the Graphics Fairy, I use these quite a bit in my journals. I love them. I love tickets, and these are so pretty. And they're ready-made, so all you have to do is cut them out. And I did perforate them so you can tear them if you want. These are also from the Graphics Fairy, so those are included in the journal. just labels that are blank so that you can fill them in. And some writing space. And here's the other end of that beautiful long graphic. I really love the colors in that. And this is avocado dyed paper. More graphics fairy. You can write what you want to in here. A little tab. There's one of those hexagons. And I reinforced some of the paper because it's old with some parchment paper here. This is a die cut that I used with this fabric that has sticky back on it. And I got it years ago and I'm just starting to use it now. I kind of hoarded it because I've never seen it before. So that's what that is. And then here's some beautiful feathers. And by the way, these feathers are clean. They're from a hobby store, so they were packaged and they're clean. Here's the other part of the doily and that ledger with handwriting in it and a vintage crochet tab. Here's one of those beautiful feathers from the Graphics Fairy premium membership site, and this is also from the Graphics Fairy premium membership site. Like I said, I will have all the names of the bundles. I didn't use it a lot because I tried to keep it so that I didn't have 10 or 15 bundles and printables that I use, just to keep it straight in my mind. And so this is the other part of that vintage parchment envelope. It was from Italy and sent to Alameda, California. Borka had lots of friends that she sent correspondence to. So this opens up. It was already open like this, and I decided to just keep it like that, and it acts as a great holder. So here's another little book that I made. It's nice and crunchy, made out of a glassine bag that's been tea dyed. And this is a rubber stamp image. But inside I've used some of the more Graphics Fairy premium design membership site images from the vintage gypsy style bundle. And this is all coffee dyed paper, so lots of space to write in. And then these open up so you can put little goodies in there. In fact, I'll put one of these little tickets that I made in there. And it also opens on this side here. So that goes back in here. This folds out. This is another Graphics Fairy graphic from the Feathers bundle. And it opens up, and I put some more of the cute tickets in here. This is your VIP ticket. And here's some vintage ephemera, some actual real vintage paper. This one is so old. I can't believe this stuff has stayed around. This is from September 5th, 1896. Deerfield Valley Creamery Association. 107 pounds of butter fat. 15.4 cents. That's crazy. And then this is old too. This is sent to someone named Reverend Spencer, 1943, asking him to come to a meeting. And this is the real deal too. Sheena always puts real ephemera in her journals, and I thought I need to start doing that because I have way too much. Just let it go. And then another cool thing in the Graphics Fairy premium membership site is they have these authentic print maps that you can print out. And so I made this as a journaling page. So it's loose and you can take it out and journal in it and then put it back in. I thought this represented Borka's travels, even though I don't think it's accurate. But it's very cool. It already looks distressed and antiqued, but I did a little bit more by just adding more ink and tearing it a little bit. And I did print it on coffee dyed paper. And here's a little collage I did with some paint scraps that I had from my painting. my paintings I paint sometimes. And another little envelope, or I mean another little notebook that's inside of a vintage envelope. Another little feather that we have found for magic and angels. And this is an authentic arithmetic card. It was from 1955. And this is the other side of the envelope, which was this right here, because this is like I said, a faux front envelope, but there's all these wonderful pockets in it. I do have a tutorial on that on my YouTube channel as well. And this is the very end. I was thinking I was going to do another Halloween journal, and that's why I did this. This is a rubber stamped image that I cut out and then I colored in with some glitter and pencils. And I just put this lady on top, and I love the contrast, and it just happened to match perfectly with this journal. And so I hope you enjoyed that. This is what I meant about this being a bookmark. So you can just do this if you want to. And it makes it look pretty, and you know where you're at. So I'm very grateful for the Graphics Fury allowing me to be one of their design team members. Every time I look on their membership site, I see something that I didn't see before, and they have uploads, I believe, every week with new images, and it's just fantastic. It's a great deal. It's $9.95 a month. You can't go wrong, especially if you love making junk journals. You just have a constant source of inspiration and also tutorials. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.